I'd like to call to order the Conservation Advisory Council. This is the December 3rd meeting, 2025. Laura, could you please take the roll?
Okay, online we have Joy Wang and Clark Henry. In the room we have Daniel McPherson, Alan Daviero, Portia Zwicker, Chuck Petrosky, and Ashok Ramasubramanian, and Chairman Dart Schreier.
Great. Okay, we have November 5th minutes in our packet. Did anybody have any corrections or changes that they wanted to make?
Yep, I do. I don't think I was here.
Oh, you know what? So, yes.
And I know I wasn't
Trish and I, because we did this a little bit from home during the snow day, and we crisscrossed our set of minutes. So there's a couple typos that we will fix that we found. Like Ellen was here and she's not in the minutes. So I'll make sure that you're off and she's on.
I apologize to the committee. I was not here.
Yeah, I think that was Trish had actually fixed that, but I didn't realize, and we were swapping different versions. So the final version will have that right.
Any other comments? Okay. I make a motion we adopt the minutes with the corrections that Laura spotted and
Chuck spotted, yeah.
yeah, and Chuck did.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
I abstained.
Okay.
Yeah, Ellen, are you
And one.
abstaining?
No, she was here.
Oh, okay. All right, the minutes are approved. Okay, privilege of the floor. Roy, would you like to take the stand and you show us your presentation?
I'm here to catch you up on what happened during the last summer with the birds and the bees at Blatney Park. I love the alliteration. And also to express a couple of concerns. I brought those concerns up in the letter, of which there's hard copies there if anybody wants one. Well, let's go. Change the, okay. These are the problems that I realized probably 10 years ago. And I started advocating for low mowing grassland bird habitat at the capped landfill. Because habitat loss is a major factor, and the capped landfill is one resource in Niskayuna that can be managed for grassland bird populations and also pollinators. And pollinators are losing because of pesticide use and changes in farming practices and so on. The capped landfill, that 20-acre zone is big enough for the grassland birds. And if the mowing is timed properly, you can get birds and pollinators and grassland birds to thrive up there. Next. This is a site you're probably familiar with. Zone A is the major capped landfill where the grassland birds have nested. B is the smaller capped landfill. That one seems to be pretty well taken up with the disc golf course. C is a little meadow that probably 10 years ago was set aside for low mow, but unfortunately it really hasn't been tended very well, and the composting facility has filled in about the bottom quarter or bottom third of Zone C. D is the old composting facility, and E is the disc driving range, excuse me, with an additional low mow area along the left-hand side of that very narrow band. Okay. This is the kind of birdhouse that I've been building and replacing the old ones with. The door opens hinged at the top, so a bird bander can reach in without losing the adult bird if it's in there. by placing a cork in the opening first. And I've managed to discourage ants. The little box at the very bottom of the little block is actually a cup. And I put a mixture of peanut butter and borax in there and screw it on. And there's no anything can get to it except the ants. Okay, there's 18 of those boxes. This past summer, I visited those 20 times, and about 50 tree swallows have fledged from that. I don't know the exact count because I didn't see them go. Bluebirds nested 4 times, 2 times successfully, and about 10 bluebirds left successfully. We saw a lot of grassland birds, bobolinks, savanna sparrows, eastern meadowlarks, song sparrows. Killdeer plovers are also out there in various places, strange places, like the middle of the baseball field and the gravel next to the dog park and so on. And I think it was Matt actually protected a spot for some killdeer to actually successfully nest and raise their young. And I have seen chicks. Bob Unick, Niskayuna resident, ex-vice president of SRI, Schenectady, SI International. He has stopped banding. He's up in his upper 80s. But there is a possible bander available for next year. Next.
Roy, can you pull that microphone a little closer to you?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, you all know about the low-mow zone. That was set up, 3 or 4 years ago? And has been a big help, especially to the pollinators. The signs are beginning to deteriorate. You might want to think about replacing those. Next. This is a shot of 3 or 4 years ago of a mowed zone versus or next to the low-mow zone. Next. This is the bird that brought my wife and I to Blatnick Park and our interest in grassland birds. In 2012, we went out there in June, and there were bobolinks around, and we went back a week later, and it had been mowed, cropped, close cropped, and they were gone. So, next. This photograph and almost all of the others were taken at Blatnick. This is one of the bluebirds in that 18 set of 18 boxes. Next. This is Bob Unick banding, and if you look carefully, you can see a bird's head extending out from between his fingers on his left hand. Next. Some bluebird eggs and a little newly hatched chick on the right. Next. These are the tree swallows that seem to be the most successful out there. Next. And this is him banding an adult that he managed to capture in the nest. He's amazing. He can handle these things and put a band on that's smaller than a pencil eraser. And all of this is in his hands and his pockets, and he does it all by himself. Anyway, next. There are a variety of other birds out there. Catbirds, next. And this is a list of those that were seen and heard over 2024 and 2025, which is, once I put them all together, I found it amazing. Next. This is a meadowlark. I borrowed the picture. It's a bird that is endangered in the east, at least. And there have been some out there. Next. Red-tailed hawk flying overhead. Next. Red-winged blackbirds, they're everywhere. They seem to be one of the most successful. I love hearing them do their chattering. Next. I've seen an eagle go overhead. Again, it's a borrowed picture. Next. Canada geese, you love them or you hate them. This is on the river, so you should love them. The ones around the pond in Blatnick, you probably should hate them if you walk out there. Next. This is a little rarer. I saw a bunch of cedar waxwings there one time. They don't usually frequent open areas like that. Next. House wrens, they come out of the woods, and I do have a little bit of a problem with them. I'm going to have to move some of the boxes farther away. they will peck open eggs and in a nest that they want. Okay, next. There's a killdeer for you. Next. This is a Savannah sparrow. A friend of mine took that picture. Next. I even saw a couple of wild turkeys walking across there. And of course, when I walk up there, I do see signs of deer droppings and beds and so on. Okay, next. So justification for thinking about low mow. Many insects are in trouble. I mentioned that before. And mowing in the growing season does kill the insects, destroy their food. Next. These are some of the photos that, again, were taken there at Blatnick. Next. That's the palm of my hand. Next. There's some very interesting beetles out there in the fall asters, or that was goldenrod, excuse me, wasp. Next. Another type of beetle. That one probably is a bad guy, a locust borer. All right, next. There's a honeybee in there somewhere on crown vetch. Next. Lots of dandelions out there. Next. There's a honeybee at the tip of the arrow in that knapweed. Next. And I did see this down near the pond, on the edge of the pond, next to the composting facility. Next. There was a little snake down in there too. Next. I've also seen one in the gravel in other places. And then final picture, cottontail rabbit, not too far from the dog park. Okay, next. These are my concerns. Invasive plants, there's a lot of them. They are moving on to the landfill cap. And right now, nothing's being done about them. Multiflora rose is spread by birds eating the seeds. I mean, it's a good bird food, but it produces briar patches that you can't get through. Teasel, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's about this tall. It has a very brushy head. Sometimes florists like to use it in bouquets. Phragmites is that great tall plumed grass that came over from Australia, and it is rugged. It drowns out everything else when it starts to invade an area. Wild parsnip, I saw some of that next to the corner of the larger baseball field, and it has set seed, so it's probably going to spread. I dug out a couple plants, but you have to be very careful about it because the sap can burn your skin. And then along the edges and the bike path, Asian bittersweet, that one, there were some vines next to the dog park that were about this big around. I counted the rings, 50 years old, and it had pulled down a couple of trees. And it's everywhere. It's a great winter bouquet, but again, the birds love it and the birds spread it. Autumn olive has recently come to my attention as an invasive plant, and there's one on the old section of the bike path right down next to the river, right straight down the hill. Honeysuckle is everywhere. Buckthorn is everywhere. Garlic mustard is coming in some spots. Japanese knotweed, you've got a couple of patches on the south end of the larger capped landfill, and purple loosestrife is coming back. That luckily has a cure. I read that there's 4 species of beetle that eat it and die. So it can wipe out loosestrife and then they go away and they don't transfer to some other plant. The mowing schedule. This summer, I went out twice, late June and early July. And before that, I had seen bobolinks and meadowlarks. And they were in that zone, which was mowed for the disc golf course. And they had nested, and then I didn't see them after that. I'm hoping that the areas for the disc golf can be minimized, laid out in a more rational way, and just mowing as much as as they can. And then just as an aside, a narrow path along the edges could be mowed anytime because that actually acts as a predator to woodland or barrier to woodland predators that would come out and raid the nests. Okay, I think that's it. Next, yeah. Oh, management and control. There's a bunch of varieties or variations on how to handle this, and I don't know which one would work for the town of Niskayuna. I know that herbicides is problematic, but in some cases it may be the only way to do it with careful spot application. And then mowing schedules, I would beg the town not to mow after June 1 until August 15th. Get those paths for the disc golf mowed early and keep them mowed so the birds don't get tempted to come in there and nest. Next. Thank you very much for preserving this wildlife habitat. And I had one quick aside that's not on that, and that is this journal. It comes out once a week, and it's really heavy on sports. And well, there's a man arrested on and convicted on charges, but I don't see any positive publicity about the town in it. And you might consider getting reporters in here to generate some text on the good efforts that the town is making, and not just in wildlife habitat, but whatever you're working on. Thank you.
Thanks, Roy. And good suggestion. Does anybody have any questions for Roy at all?
Yeah, so if I remember right, it's best not to mow from June 15th to September 15th. Did I get those dates right? June 1 to September 1.
Well, Roy's actually saying that you want to mow early so the birds don't get into the tall grass.
That's for the disc golf.
Right.
You're gonna have the disc golf, you need to mow the disc golf, and you have to have the paths already mapped out before the nesting birds come, so they don't nest there,
Which is like June 1st.
which is by like in May.
So the preferred recommended mowing schedule, is that written down somewhere?
Yeah, so here in this slide, mow the disc golf paths before June 1st, and then you can mow them periodically until August 15th and then leave them alone so that they are natural, right, until the next spring.
Do we have,
Well, grass just doesn't grow that much after. Wait, Roy, can you go back to the microphone? Thank you.
It is a little complex. Setting us and putting out of consideration right now the disc golf paths, talking only about low mow areas. That should be mowed before May 15th and after August 15th for the birds. But if you want to keep the pollinators, it needs to wait until first frost. So for both pollinators and birds, say May 15th to October 1. For the disc golf paths, mow it early, mow it often so the birds don't come in there. Those are numbers that I've pulled out of various websites, Audubon Society and so on.
So if I remember correctly, I mean, all this, we have shared all this with Ray.
Yes, but it gets lost, I'm sure, in all of the other things that he has to take care of.
Yeah.
All of the sewers and, well, I don't know if he does sewers or not, but, mowing of roadsides and paving of highways and picking up yard waste and vacuuming leaves and, mowing the landfill is another one of his duties. And I'm sure that sometimes it slips that it shouldn't be touched during certain time periods. I'm going to go to the Highway and Parks meeting tomorrow morning and discuss from that letter to act as a reminder.
Yeah, that would be really good to, for the person in charge of the parks. Can't think. No, our parks person.
Oh, Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew. So I think I think Andrew is the person in charge of our park. So he's the one that we need to, talk about the disc golf with.
Okay, that's Andrew
Smith.
Smith. Okay. He will probably be at the meeting then? It's part.
If he isn't, I would still do what you were planning to do and then ask if you could get a meeting with him after, if he's not there.
Okay.
I don't think he regularly comes to those yet.
Do we have any statistics on how many people use the disc golf facility?
Not that I know of.
I don't think so, but like as I had mentioned earlier, they've used it less and less because of the LOMO. They're saying it's not being well maintained, but this sounds like if the disc golf paths should be mowed and kept mowed, that's a good thing for them if we do that.
Who owns the disc golf? Like, is it town owned or is it
Yeah, it's
privately
town
held?
owned. As
Well-
long as you keep your frisbees in the fairway.
Okay, I just want to pose it out there. What is the argument against eliminating the disc golf? Just make it all low mo.
So I'm not sure if you remember, but this is what I've been working on, because the disc golf is in disrepair. And I contacted last year the person who designed the disc golf, and I spoke to that person, and they hold a disc golf tournament in Niskayuna. So then I tried to connect all of the players that were involved in this. And I went to the parks, I went to the meeting that's tomorrow, and I brought the person, his name is escaping me, but I can look it up. And I actually went out there and helped them get organized. He said that, he committed to what he would do and how he would help, because there are the pads that you throw from and everything like that are not being maintained. So I said, if the Parks Department is not going to continue to maintain it and we don't have the people then using it, then maybe we need to look at it from a standpoint of economics and decide whether or not we're going to use it or not. But I didn't think that was, I was just trying to lay out all the steps and to get people who are in the authority to decide whether or not this was a place to go. Because continually with the low mo, working with Roy and meeting Andrew out there, we met to find out where the invasive species was. We walked all of these, things. So I feel like the process is pretty complete. I feel like I have done my due diligence in trying to get the people who were going to, so that was how we got the map for the mowing this year. So they had an air map, like a GPS map, so they could mow it just distinctly, so that it would just be fair for the birds and for the disc golf people. So if they were going to live in harmony, this was how we were going to do it. So basically, I'm just waiting to hear from somebody from the Parks Department, from Ray, from the supervisor, all of those people who are in charge of all of those areas, what they think is the best to do.
Thank you, Ellen, and we can follow up online. I had a quick question for Laura. With the low mo, and especially the part that is very visible from the bike path, and I know there's a fair buffer between the bike path and actual start of the low mo, that part is mowed, and there is signage too. Have there been resident complaints on, hey, it's not, everything used to be mowed, why is not everything are there resident concerns about that?
So I don't get them, but it's possible that they go directly to the highway department.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And one final question for Roy. You mentioned you and your wife took this walk in 2012. You're distressed by the disappearance of the birds. That was 2012. You have worked a whole lot. We have worked a whole lot. Between 2012 and 2025, have you seen improvements for birds in that area?
Yes, until that swath that was mowed this June, end of June, early July, which turns out covered a part of the cap that rolled off towards the river. And apparently bobolinks like that kind of a vista from where they're nesting. So I think they had gotten suckered into nesting in that zone,
Okay.
largely. I can't say for certain that there were no successful bobolinks or meadowlarks
Okay.
in the other parts of the Lomo area, but the number that I could see when I walked out in August was much, much less.
You've already done a lot, and if I may make one more request, like, can you just distill the information you provided and then just take out the mowing schedule and make that into a separate document, like the preferred mowing schedule? I try to write down the dates for the different
Okay.
things, but as you were talking, and I know there is some stuff in there, but just a clear document saying, you in the very beginning you showed A, B, C, D, E. Like in A, this is the schedule. For B, this is the schedule. And like most recently, like 1 minute ago, you mentioned, well, the bobolink seems to like that particular location, and maybe you can mark that location on the map. Just a very clear temporal and spatial mowing agenda, if you will, and make that into a separate document.
Yes, and send it to Laura?
You can send it to me too.
Probably coordinate with Ellen because I think Ellen worked a lot on the map, so we can like combine them all together, right?
Okay.
And nothing else in that document, like just the mowing schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
I
And map.
understand.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's confusing.
Yeah.
So I did want to, I just want to ask, so the bird houses that you put up, were those the ones that were built with you and the Boy Scouts? Were those the ones that got put up this year, or are those still?
No,
not yet?
the Cub Scouts didn't want to keep the houses, so I got to take 6 birdhouses back home with me.
Oh, they wanted to keep them?
They didn't want them, so I have got some spares to put up when the old ones deteriorate.
Yeah,
Uh,
I thought when you went to build them with them that they were going to build them and then they were going to be for you to use out on the caps when you needed them. That was the.
Well, that's
but-
what's going to happen to some of them, right?
Oh, okay. Are there any other places in town that you think that we should be putting up those?
There's a man lives over next to, I can't remember the name of the park, a rather large park that has a baseball field at one end of it and a big open green area on the other. I gave him a couple of birdhouses.
Okay.
So
Avon
the
Crest?
problem with being near
Might be the
houses
recreation field.
is that the house sparrows take over,
Yeah.
and they will actually get into a bluebird box and kill the bluebird or kill the.
That's
the
what I
tree
have.
swallow.
That's the problem I have at my house. Yes. So yeah, I understand.
Have I taken up enough time?
No, it's fine.
Great.
We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
John, would you like to address the committee?
My name is John Gansfuss. I live at 2162 Stuyvesant Street, and I'm also the Mohawk Hudson Bird Club's steward for the Rice Sanctuary. I did not come here with any prepared comments, but after hearing this gentleman's presentation, I just want to emphasize these problems are not going to go away. We need a comprehensive plan that addresses all of this in all of Niskayuna, not just in Blatnick Park. But somebody needs to, look at the entire town and do what we can do. maybe put a task force together that can look at this, or an action plan, or maybe even embody some of it in the town code, because again, this is a serious problem. You probably all know about the grasslands that are being lost up at Fort Edward. Protecting grasslands should be a very high priority, and we have more grass, I think, than some other communities, and so we can help put a positive dent in this environmental problem. That's all I had to say.
Thanks, Jim. Laura, do we have anybody online that wants to speak?
No one online and no emails, with exception of the Roy one that I forwarded to those of you that didn't
Right.
get it today. Yep.
Okay, we have no EAFs this evening, but we do have some discussion topics. So Laura, I think the first order of business is the calendar. And the calendar was included in our packets.
And it's actually, well, thank you to Clark for doing it. It's a really simple calendar. Like last year was like the most changes, and I don't know if something just needed to roll over, because this year I think it's every single first Monday with no problems. Wednesday with no problems. So unless there's something in particular that you guys know of, it's very straightforward for 2026.
It's just a July 1st one. Is that going to be an issue? Because, it's not very close to the 4th isn't until.
Yeah, it's a lot better than we've seen in the past,
Yeah,
that's for
so-
sure.
I don't think it's any worse than the 2nd of September, other summer ones. My question is, since we're talking about schedule, where did the 7 p.m. come from, that start time?
Well, Bill Lee was the chairman for a really long time. I think the original start time was 8 p.m., right?
It was 7:30.
Oh, it was 7:30, and
Yeah.
then he did get it moved to 7 to help people.
Are you
But
proposing we go later?
Earlier.
so the only issue with that is that most boards that are a little bit more than just recommending boards, which the CAC is considered, even though you do just make recommendations, your recommendations are formal and required by law, where like tree council and complete streets and those things aren't. And you do have developers that attend your meetings. So they have typically been the same time that planning board and town board starts. That's why.
But who is it up to? Is it up to this board?
I don't really know. I can look into it for you guys.
Would you like
Just
to do
wondering.
it earlier?
I kind of get home and then I kind of sit and wait, and it would just be nice to kind of start the night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know, 6 seems like a good time to me. But just more of a question, like how was it set? Did you guys all pick it because it works for your schedules? But it sounds like it was a holdover from ages ago.
Well, since I've been here, we did move it from 7:30 to 7.
Yeah.
But that brought it more in line with the rest of the meetings. Bringing it
You
earlier.
guys like 7? Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm just one person.
No, I'm indifferent.
Do you have a preference?
I'm not going to comment on it until it's actually an issue to be discussed.
I'll look
Yeah.
into it. Yeah, I'll look
So-
into it.
Okay, so do we want to adopt the schedule tonight, or do people want to check their calendars?
Dates are fine.
Okay, if somebody wants to make a motion, you can.
I'll make that motion that we accept the calendar as presented.
Second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay,
I'm not opposed, but I'm abstaining from this.
yes.
One abstention.
Okay, next order of business. Laura, you have some updates. 6th Street.
Yeah, just so last meeting you guys did look at the preliminaries of 6 St. Gerard, and you did have comments on Niskuna Harbor. Both those projects are working on the comments. Niskuna Harbor Clerk and I had a meeting with them and, discussed the issue of the stormwater being within the wetlands, and they are looking at it. And 6 St. Gerard has been working through stormwater analysis and has been having meetings with the town designated engineer. So they've been doing internal work, but we haven't gotten any new sets of drawings. So I would expect to see them in January or February with some updates.
Sounds good. And since our last meeting, we had a Route 7 meeting that was given by the DOT.
Oh, Chairman,
Yeah.
sorry for the interruption. I wanted to repeat what I said in the November meeting, that I had concerns about the Niskayuna Harbor project's impact on biodiversity.
Yep.
And green space preservation, which was a strong desire as expressed in the comprehensive plan.
And we passed that on to them. One of the things that Clark and they actually pulled themselves from the planning board meeting because they're trying to think about it. But one of the things that Clark and I said is the number of units may not necessarily be the problem. It's the number of building footprints. So maybe they could change some of the 4 units into 8 units and make less building footprints, and then move the stormwater into where the actual homes are being built and out of that area that looked like it would be preserved for green space. That's what we're trying to get them to think about. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. This isn't in the agenda, but since last time we met, the DOT presented some options
DOT,
for Route 7 and corridor.
It's specifically not DOT.
It's not. I'm sorry.
It's the Capital District Transportation Council.
I stand corrected. Okay. And Laura, would you like to sort of review that a little bit?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I think I did email you guys when I was just wanting to make sure that you all knew of the public input. But there was an initial survey about existing conditions on Route 7 and what people's concerns were. We got over 350 responses for that, which was really good. And then took those concerns and worked them into concepts. Some of the concepts on the corridor were set aside. For instance, a road diet. It just wouldn't really work on Route 7 to go from 2 lanes in each direction down to 1 lane. So that was kind of set aside. And roundabouts were also set aside because of the amount of land that they would take. And also, they're not particularly friendly to pedestrian and bicycle crossing. And so our first goal is safety, but our second and third goal are pedestrian access and ease of mobility for all users. So those types of things were explored and set aside, but the concepts that really could work were proposed to the public on November 18th. If you go to the Safe on 7 website, the presentation is there, the slide deck is there. The audio on the presentation was not very good for the in-person presentation. So I had him actually do it over the slide deck so you can hear it better. And the posters are online, and then you can take the survey. And it is really important. We all use Route 7. DOT is proposing to do a project, so it's very important that they hear from us. It's quite probable that there'll be some kind of a median. So it's important for the town and the Transportation Council and DOT to hear if we would want, a median there and what that median would look like and what we support. There's also room without any taking to put a multi-use path along one side. There have been concerns with e-bikes going too fast along the multi-use path and things that, we still may need to tackle. But so there's a variety of different concepts, placemaking, signage. There's some trails connections that were proposed. So if you guys have a lot of knowledge of the town, if you haven't looked at the concepts, they do fold into what we do here on the committee. So I'd love for you to look at them, and I'd love for you to take the survey at the end of what you see, if you have the time.
Okay, great. Anything else? I would encourage we talk to our neighbors too.
Oh, yeah. Right
What's
now we
that
have
website?
about 180 responses, which is less than we had for the original concern. So I would love for you to share it with your neighbors as well.
Could you repeat that website?
Route 7.
Oh, the Safe on, it's, so what I do is I just type in Safe on 7 Niskayuna. It'll bring up a town webpage with the link. It's a Bitly website. You can do like bit.ly/Safe on 7.
I got it.
Bitly I struggle with a little bit, but you can get to it if you just type in Safe on 7 Niskayuna.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can go there. The tab that has all of the new stuff is the public outreach tab that has all the videos and everything. I'm a planner. I love it. I really want people to look at it because it would be transformative. If we got a median, I mean, we don't have construction funds yet, but like theoretically, if we were able to get a green median with trees up and down that entire road, I mean, it would transform that corridor and make it a lot safer. So, but that's just one opinion
We'll do a lot of things.
of a person that loves trees. So,
Okay, great.
One quick clarifying question, Laura, like the median and the multi-use path, are they mutually exclusive?
no. So the cool thing about the concepts that they did is one thing they'd recommend is, if we're repaving the road or, well, it's not we, it's UT, but if there's new things that are happening on that road that they plan to accommodate all the treatments that are acceptable to the public, but you could narrow the lanes and get more separation of sidewalk and multi-use path without putting a median in. You could put a median in and then put the multi-use path in later. None of them exclude each other. All of them fit. The road widths out there are quite wide. It's probably one of the reasons that there's excessive speeding on that road. So one of the main ways that you can fit everything in there is reducing the lane width. And because you wouldn't do a road diet, you would still have 2 lanes going in either direction. You can still accommodate freight. They would essentially take 2, you wouldn't really be able to pass them. You just have to handle the fact that there was freight and wait for it to pass through the corridor. But it'll be okay with the 2 lanes that are 11 feet wide. Like, because sometimes they pull things that you don't even realize. They'll pull generators and stuff down that road in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they do a lot of wide,
Mhm.
they did it the other day.
So it is a
The-
designated
from-
freight corridor, and
Yeah,
all of
from-
these treatments accommodate the freight.
Yeah, from the GE plant down there, you can
They
see-
do. They pull them down Route 7 sometimes when they're
Yeah.
going to the Port of Albany.
Yeah, they do them the other day.
Not always, but sometimes.
Laura, I may have missed it, but I didn't see a deadline for the survey. So
Yeah, it doesn't have a deadline for closing. I'm going to meet with them tomorrow, and we'll probably set a deadline. It's likely going to be the end of December.
Oh,
It's the end of December.
Yeah, I would think so. Why? You think that's not?
If we
The
have a
thing-
choice, can we make it a little longer?
Well, we
that's what I
can.
thought too.
We can. What we find though is leaving it open longer doesn't typically get more results. We just have to push. Like when we decide on the close date, we'll do another email blast because we get initial big jump in surveys, and then I can almost no one's taking the survey right now. So
Okay.
we have to do another push to people. A lot of the people who came to the meeting we had about 200 people at that meeting. It was one of the most well-attended meetings I've ever had as a planner. It was really awesome. So I think those responses are from a lot of people who attended. Now we really need to push the information out to people who couldn't attend to watch that webinar, look at the slides, and then take that survey.
Laura, I'm looking at the picture. Maybe you don't know this, but would the median have gaps in it for when you come out of a side street to turn into the other lanes? Because right now that middle space is also a turning lane.
Yeah, when you go to that website, those boards are on that website, and you can actually zoom way in. The proposed median would have brakes that have lights, so not every intersection would be able to ride through the median. You may have to, Morgan Ave, for example, you would have to take a right and turn with a covered left U-turn.
It
Oh.
looks like other than the major streets, it is basically continuous, which would eliminate people turning left or any of that on nearly all the Route 7 side streets, right?
I mean, the majority of them.
yeah, but Daniel, it is like a kind of a sketchy sketchy left turn, like,
Believe me, I know what you mean.
you
Someone's coming in this way,
yeah.
just hit them when you're
And,
going there.
and if you go to Erie Boulevard, right before it connects to 890, like, if you,
Yeah.
and you'll see the median in there with a bunch of side streets. And then you'll see a sign that says, like, this is where you U-turn.
Yeah,
So when I was there at the meeting that Laura mentioned, that's what they said, like, the Erie Boulevard is a good local example to visualize.
Saratoga has got a good example of a median too.
One of the examples that I think would be, there'd be less local traffic on the residential streets because basically you'd limit people making left-hand turns into neighborhoods.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense anymore.
So one of the things that's happening with a lot of fatalities, though, is that people are crossing through that median and having head-ons, and so a median reduces the lane departure head-on crashes that we've
Yeah.
had.
Okay.
Yeah, and also it also makes it safer for pedestrians to cross. You could just do median treatments at intersections, which still makes it safer for pedestrians to cross, and pedestrians should always be crossing at a crosswalk. But if for some reason a pedestrian decides to run across the street in a place that they should not be, they are also much safer with a median before they then cross the next two lanes. Because when they're standing out there in a sea of asphalt, even in the turning lane, because people also use that turning lane to pass.
Mhm.
Like they shouldn't. It's super illegal, and if the police see it, they'll arrest them. But they absolutely do.
I got that.
saying,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They go around them in the middle.
In the
Yes.
turning lane,
Mhm.
Yep. I've been
it's
passed.
pretty dangerous the way that it's set up right
I've
now.
been passed.
Yeah.
So it should also, I was away for the meeting, but the Erie Boulevard, I mean, you should have the statistics on that because that's new.
So yeah, and actually they put in broken medians in Lake George, and without any police enforcement, it lowered the speed limit by 9 to 12 miles an hour just by having that physical infrastructure that breaks up that huge sheet of asphalt. Just having that in your visual thing, it makes it feel like you can't drive as fast and you just naturally slow down. So that's another benefit, is that it's a proven countermeasure to reduce speeding, which is a problem.
And of course, we can make the median native grasses, trees, pollinator friendly, most certainly pesticide free.
Yeah, some towns keep the median very simple. Lake George, does flowers. We probably could have it be, low. We would be the ones that maintain the median, so we would probably have a contractor do it if we can get it installed, but the less maintenance, the better.
I just got way more excited about it.
Yeah, so I mean, it wouldn't be as wide as Grand Boulevard, but medians are an opportunity to add green space and habitat in our town.
I also think the multi-use path would be a huge benefit
Mhm.
to the town and really encourage biking as a mode of transportation. Because riding on those sidewalks is tough.
Because right now, people on the other side of Route 7, like high school students, for instance, like it's not an option.
Well, there's no
No.
safe crossover. Complete Streets worked on that for
There's almost a mile between crosswalks on one section of
Yeah.
Route 7, and
Yeah.
nobody goes a mile in one direction, crosses, and then comes back a mile.
Yeah.
Like human beings just don't do that.
It's definitely something that should get addressed. Put in the proverbial list of things.
And it's okay if you don't like the median. That's good feedback too. We just need to get the word out and have people look at it and be thinking about it.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, let's move on to the greenhouse or the government climate action plan.
Yeah, so I removed the greenhouse gas inventories because they're completed and accepted by DEC, and they helped us get our certification, which I don't know if you guys noticed, is put on the wall. Portia and Ellen came, and we got, just Portia came, and we got pictures, and Dart. Yeah.
I-
Oh, and Ashok, yes. We had a bunch of members of the CAC come. And we also have a new display case out there that shows some of the items that we made to get our climate smart certification. So now we got to dive into the climate action plan, which I'll start working on in 2026.
Okay. Ongoing initiatives. Do we want to talk about, which ones do we want to talk about? Oh, Quiet Niskuna.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Okay.
There was a meeting after our November meeting where I
Yep.
want to say Clark or Ashok, I couldn't remember. Somebody was going to represent, maybe it was you, Dart,
It was me.
was going to represent the idea and float it.
Yep.
How'd that go?
I thought it went well. I think that the discussion was good about it. I think that the board didn't say no. They were interested. So we need to just take it to the next step, which would be for us to sort of draft do we need to draft a resolution first, Laura, or how would we go?
Yeah, I
about
mean,
that?
Dan and I worked on the language of the code, and I'm pretty comfortable with the language, the way that it is written. I meant to actually go and check the minutes of the Economic Development Committee meeting because I do feel like they asked us to do something. I can't remember what it was.
There was a lot of discussion about allowing the time period and what the purpose of that was to use the gas blowers. There was a discussion about that.
No time period?
No, it was just questions.
Yeah, I'll go back and listen to the meeting. I have the meetings coming around again on Friday, so I have to look at those minutes and I'll make sure that we capture what the next steps were.
What were their questions?
No, I would say generally they were pretty supportive, but
Yeah.
I think they wanted the comparisons with the other towns. I think they,
Were they wondering why we were allowing the time or not allowing?
No, it was just general. There weren't flags about any of that. It was just sort of, oh, we're allowing it for a period of time. It was more questions about how it came about, that we took code from, counties downstate or towns downstate, primarily Westchester County. And there was a whole variety of things we talked about. Sometimes it's important to have an open time when you can use it,
Well,
No, I
was not-
they were very
matches the-
supportive.
They
of
were
it
very
generally.
supportive. It wasn't.
Right, but the time period matches the our fall cleanup.
Yeah,
I don't think there's an
That's what
issue.
that's
but
but that's the answer to the question.
yeah.
It matches our fall cleanup, so it enables people who have, the big lawns to still be able to use them.
The
That's
other
the-
thing that I think came up, which I'm just remembering it now, is that John is very in favor of that, but he's not, he's outgoing.
Yeah.
So I think he wanted the new person to come in and get us talking to her and make sure that she was supportive of it as well. I think he wanted to have it bridge between the old and the new representation just to make sure. But yeah, I thought it went very well.
Yeah,
Every
no.
time we bring it up, they seem, John Delarada has been particularly supportive of Quiet Niskuna. So hopefully we'll continue to get that support.
We should probably put it on the agenda for Friday.
Yeah,
Oh,
we can talk.
John's still going to be there.
Yeah, I think
January.
he wanted
Yeah.
it to cross over into the
Yep.
new year.
So is there anything this board can vote on and submit to one of the other boards?
So I thought that we actually did make the recommendation. And
I don't think we did.
oh, we didn't.
I think we discussed it a bunch and we
And
agreed to
bringing
bring
it-
to a meeting and
Then I
Like-
think what we could do is bring it back with the code and any clarifications that the EDHP wanted, and then we would vote on it, and forward it on to the town board as a
We
whole.
formally have to go through a review process.
Oh yeah,
of the
we were going to
code.
do a seeker on it too.
We have to do a secret on it,
this board?
this board.
Okay,
So
Okay, so maybe we can put that on our
For
next
January.
agenda.
Mhm.
let's do it.
We'll
Yeah,
do
we
it
could
as
do
a
it.
discussion
And
item.
we should have, you should have encouraged John for that to be his, that he didn't need to wait it to a bridge. This was, this is his position still, and he's still while he's an advocate for it, this is what, he's a member of the town.
yeah, but ultimately the town board would have to vote on it, and
That's okay.
it just wouldn't turn around that quick.
That's okay.
Yeah, he has been very supportive of Quiet Niskuna.
Okay, so
Okay, so we'll bring that back for
We'll bring that
formal
back up,
action in
yeah.
January. So actually, we'll put it under an EAF. I'll fill out the part 1, and then you guys will have to look at the part 2.
if you find any questions that they had that need answers,
Then I'll send them to you.
please let
Yeah.
me know.
Yeah, I think what
Or
would
if they want
happen,
some kind of heat map of shows other dates or something that they're not arbitrary.
You did do the follow up where
Yeah.
you added the decibel level of the electric ones in, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and you emailed it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought so.
yeah, what I think we would go through,
Did the town attorney? Maybe that's premature. Maybe
no, that she didn't have any.
we don't need their.
No, we do, but that's premature.
Okay.
What we need to do is we need to get a draft that this committee can put forward.
Which again, I agree with Laura. I think we're close. So if nobody has a question that would change that draft, the wording is pretty clean.
Yeah, we drafted the language.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't physically go through and do a seeker.
Yeah,
No,
we
no.
can do that.
Let's do
Yeah,
that
we
in
can do
January.
So we have to go through that process and then we can forward it and then we can see, if the board wants changes, there's possibility there may be some changes that come back.
Sure, but can we do the seeker in January?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a suggestion regarding the decibel levels, right? Try to craft it in such a way that it's understandable and relatable to everyone, right? So try to pick a sound that nearly everyone knows what it is.
And considers unpleasant. Like
Yeah. Well,
that.
one thing that came to my mind is like, when I'm waiting for the Amtrak train and then the train comes in, right? How many decibels is that? Like, I don't know. And I've been, because if somebody says like 70 dB, 80 dB, right? Unless you're an audio engineer, and I can share this much as an engineer, like the decibel scale is weird. It's a logarithmic scale. So every 3 dB is doubling in amplitude. So if you go from 10 dB to 20 dB, that's like 300% more about what. So, and I'm also told there are these iPhone apps where you can like set the volume at a certain level and you can say, well, this is what 15 dB sounds like. And when I say something like this, just like make an example that is relatable to everyone. Like, oh yeah, okay, now I
I
get it.
catch
Like,
your drift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Some
think,
benchmarks.
yeah, I thought that in there was the, what it is compared to like a jet engine and like
Mm.
what, and, and stuff like that. I know we did.
Yeah,
this,
but you
I
have to
know
be
what you're saying.
specific though. Like, if you are standing 3 feet from a jet engine, that's different from standing 500 feet from or
Yeah.
10 feet from a jet engine. Like,
Yeah,
be as specific as you can be, so that people can visualize
Well,
it.
yeah, and the threshold for damage is
Yeah.
like
Mm.
85.
Yeah, we have a
There's a
decibel.
time versus decibel problem.
We have a decibel meter in the building department because of complaints sometimes. And like talking is like 40 or 50. Like it's not actually that our voices can get to 60.
Yeah, no, actually, you can download an app on your phone and you
They
can go
give you the
around and
decibels.
sit in a restaurant and say, okay, there's 80 dB in this restaurant.
I did not realize it was logarithmic. Maybe that makes sense. Because it seems to me like our threshold for loud noise is not that many points above what talking is, but that may be because it's logarithmic then.
So if you talk at 60 and now you're at 70, it's 10 times louder.
Yeah.
There's about 60 decibels right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
okay.
saying.
I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, what we need to do is we just need to go through and have a formal review of it, go through the seeker and then say, okay, we recommend this.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, any other items here that we want to talk about?
For the sustainability checklist.
Yep.
I can't remember if I told you guys this. I think we might have run out of time. Simran had originally made that on a Google Doc, And I was sure that I had pulled the Google Doc down and saved it somewhere, but I couldn't find it anywhere, and I can't access the Google Doc anymore.
Can we reach out to her and ask her for permission
I
again?
can. I was wondering if any of you guys ever downloaded it off of the Google Doc.
No.
Okay. Okay.
I can
It's
look
weird
too.
because I know we had versions floating around, but I think because it was an editable document, we may have never actually emailed. When I look, we typically emailed each other the link, and
Yeah.
now I can't get to the doc. And which, you know, is of course like terrible because it was basically done and we were just adding a thing. But I do have a new intern, so if we can't get into it, we'll just have to do it again.
We should be able to get into it. though.
I have the link, but it won't let me
No,
in
no.
anymore.
If she still has the Google Doc account.
She might be able to get into it and then send
Yeah.
it to us. Yeah.
Okay.
1 minute.
Yep.
Laura, if you attended the webinar today
Oh, I
on
did.
the, on
Yeah,
the
do you want to talk
grant,
about that?
yeah, so there is this super awesome grant opportunity that lets us acquire land for conservation. It has zero match from the town. It's one of those bond act things. And I believe it's a $50,000 minimum and $3.5 million maximum. There's a webinar today that Laura was able to attend. The deadline is February 16th. And Laura, if it's okay with your office, that would be something we can apply for. If you mind,
Yeah.
if you don't
The
mind
main thing
sharing.
that we do have to secure is a letter that says, yes, if you do get the grant, we will sell this parcel to you.
Okay.
So that's like the main thing that we'd have to get before February. I think it's 16th or 18th. It's one of those days.
Okay.
And there's a couple parcels that we would want to look at.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we don't have to discuss on mic when offline. We can talk about.
Mhm.
So
But
it has to be something that's essentially for sale. They can't give us the money for future purchases or.
no, yeah, the point of this grant is that we have a willing seller and they will give the land to us like fee simple. It can be like if they have a house on their parcel and they have like 40 acres of undeveloped land behind it, they can subdivide out the house so they could live in their house. Like
Right.
they wouldn't have to sell their house and then have the town take it down. Or if there's completely undeveloped land, it can just be, fee simply deeded over to the town of Niskayuna. It doesn't work for easements. It has to be actual land
That
that's
was
given
my
to the
next
town
question, yeah.
for the purposes of public access conservation, water preservation, floodplain management. There's a whole bunch of like items. There's definitely some places in Niskayuna though that it would be great if we were given 100% match to buy that up and then protect it. And like, areas with a lot of wetlands, areas that we wouldn't want to see developed for whatever reason. Areas that are connected to parks and make wildlife corridors. Those are just really great parcels to go for.
We're in a much better position now because
With the
we have
NRI.
NRI.
I think we would be competitive. The one thing that we'll have to do is find a willing landowner by, I would say like early February.
Gotcha.
I would like to have them committed by like February 1st, I would think, because then that would give us at least a couple weeks to finalize the grant.
Gotcha.
Okay. Do we have any other business? Okay, at this time, I would like to thank Ashok for your service on this board. You have really been an asset. You've done really tangible things for the town. The way you took on the NRI, which was sort of identified in the 2013 comp plan, which nobody really took on, but you took it on, you pushed it, you were the champion of it, and it was a huge success. And that will be a legacy that will live on in this unit for a long time. So that and, all the other stuff you've done in the meetings and the conversations, particularly your point of view, I particularly have found extremely helpful for keeping us straight and keeping our priorities. And I wish you the best of luck in your new endeavor. And I'm sure we will work together in the future. But thank you for your service. If anybody else wants to add anything,
Yay.
Well, it's been a pleasure working with you all. I think I've served some 5 years in this committee, and I was in the privilege of the floor once before I served, and I didn't even know you could join the committee. I was completely clueless. And 1 year after I appeared on the privilege of the floor, somebody said, "You know what? You could actually join the committee." And I said, "You could join the committee?" and I joined, and I've really enjoyed working with the public, working with different stakeholders, and working with you all. And it is with great sadness that I'm going to declare that this will be my last CAC meeting. But you all know where I'm going, so I do intend to work very closely with the CAC and its recommendation and its people moving forward. Thank you.
okay, on that note, I propose we adjourn the meeting. And Ellen, you brought some stuff for us to partake of. So would somebody like to end the meeting?
Motion to close.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned.
Thanks, Joy.
Thanks, Joy.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.